make us laugh. So I'd get down on the floor so they couldn't see me, and then Ed would go, where's Ted? Don't make us laugh. It's funny. You can hear all this stuff on the tape. So obviously, that's proof right there that there are outtakes. Outtakes exist. And he says they're really rare. I have the very first demo we did, and we took 2 days to do it. Last one, we did 40 songs, and Dave says that's all we got. And he also said that Ed used to call Mike Cannon Mouth because of his huge ability to sing. And then he also said that the band really never fought in front of him. They just didn't click, he said. He said, I think it had to do with the early days because Dave used to boss them around like he was P.T. Barnum. He says Dave's attitude was, you got to make a show out of this, Ed. You've got to dress this way. Al, you got to do this. He said there was problems because the guys didn't want him to get married. He says, Ted, I don't know what to do. I said, fuck those guys. They can't tell you what to do in your life. You want to walk out right now? I'll walk out with you. And he says that later, Valerie thanked him for that kind of support that he gave Ed. He says Eddie never forgot that. And they called each other on each other's birthday, and they were always good friends and keeping contact. And he says they also had the falling out over Jump. And to this day, he claims that he does not like Jump. And he said it's weird because I produced it and it's a huge hit, and obviously I was wrong. But he said that he wasn't wild about the keyboard trend, and he realized he was wrong because it was a number one song, but he says, but I don't even listen to it. Because to me, they were a heavy metal fucking band that could do pop tunes. That's what I liked about them. But that took it into a whole other arena. It reminded me of those bands that played in arenas. Then the fucking thing ends up being played at every sports arena before a game. And he says, look, I was wrong. But he said he preferred more like stuff like Panama, and ain't talking about love for sure. But at the end, he said Don Landy and Ted would call up Ed when he was in the hospital at Cedars and try to make him laugh the best they could. And that it got to where they took him and stuff, and he didn't want to talk about some of the private stuff, but he says the misery he was going through was really hard to relate to or think about. So he said, I had to block it out. He says, I'll tell you, he was the last guy to think he was some kind of guitar god. He always hated that. So he says that Ed was, different than most people because he was a triple threat. He said he wasn't just a shredder. He put stuff in there that no one else could do. He says all of his solos are melodic. He could play a Steinway in the studio and make it sound like a concert pianist. And he says, I think Ed's impact is because he brought pop stuff into his music. Everybody likes that. No matter how much you like other kinds of music, if you hear a really good pop tune, it just gets you. So that was interesting from Ted. Dave, what did you make of all that personal stuff?
That was really touching. He always had great respect for Ed. And again, somebody else he had reconnected with, and they were close. And I think Ted just hit the right balance of sharing enough that you could really understand and appreciate what Ed was going through without revealing too much.
Yeah, well, he certainly, I thought, really laid a lot out there. You know what I mean? It was obvious and very clear that he was in very close touch with him.
Yeah, and that Ed was really doing worse than anybody suspected.
Oh, yeah. I think that was apparent. I guess, look, sickness, illness, that stuff is private, and it's just hard. And, let's be honest, put yourself in Eddie's position. Who wants to be in that position? You're someone like Eddie Van Halen, and you're as public figure as that. He doesn't want people knowing all that ugly stuff. So I understand that.
Right. Yeah, it's hard enough just being a celebrity, and now
this is like
they're watching your every move till you die.
Right.
That's just horrible. So who could blame the guy for keeping it private, right?
Yeah, that's the truth. Also, not that this is good, but one comforting thing, I should say, because Ed's, obviously lived for his music. So Van Halen's music is back on the charts, Dave, if you can believe this. So Billboard's top 200 album charts. Van Halen 1 enters at number 30. 1984 enters at 45. The Best of Volume 1 enters at 60, and at 166 is the Best of Both Worlds compilation. And on top of that, the streams, the top 5 most streamed songs were Jump with 2.33 million, followed by Panama at 1.97 million, Running with the Devil 1.78 million, Hot for Teacher 1.51 million, and Eruption 1.37 million. By the way, all Dave era songs. Kind of interesting. So
Yes.
that's obviously surging. What do you make of that? Is that just, you think that's common for a post-death of a rock star?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it happens all the time. And I think it's impressive for someone of Ed's stature. I mean, because didn't like their sales, including their streaming sales, I mean, they jumped up by it was over 7,000% or something
It was insane.
like that.
Yeah, it was insane. Yeah.
I mean, sadly, this is what happens when people pass away. But, I mean, this is how people grieve. You know, they listen to music and they realize they haven't listened to it in a while.
Right.
Or even if they have, they just, they go on a binge and they listen to it. And streaming is an easy way to do that. So, yeah, lots of people were listening to it. I'm sad to see Ed go, but I'm glad that it was being played all over. As some people pointed out, well, maybe... the one good thing will be that since all his music is being played now, new people will discover his music.
Yeah, for sure. Now we're switching gears a little bit over to Sammy Hagar's Birthday Bash 2020 on the beach at Catalina Island in California. So October 17th. Okay, this was a pay-per-view event. Dave, what was your overall impression?
I thought it was very well done, especially in light of the fact that, I mean, they basically pumped it out in a week.
Yeah, real
Right?
quick, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was about 2 hours long.
Yeah,
I thought the performances were good. Performances were solid.
yep.
Obviously, the band had, rehearsed, because there's always that risk that, they hadn't played live in a while.
Yeah.
Although the Circle had been doing
Right.
The video, so they weren't, but still they hadn't played together.
Right.
I thought it was really interesting that they were playing on the beach to the water.
Yeah.
And, basically, you couldn't really see an audience. I mean, everybody was on their boats. That's who their audience was.
Right.
It was very interesting, very surreal. It was impeccably filmed.
Gorgeous.
It was. I mean, they really took advantage of the scenery of Catalina.
Yeah.
I think it's Catalina Island, right?
Catalina Island, off of California.
And they definitely had some drones going on.
Totally.
Some
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
overhead, but really well done, well filmed. I thought the song selection was decent.
Yeah.
They had a fair amount of Van Halen.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. Yeah.
They did good enough, which was a nice surprise.
Yeah, I was going to say that was a really nice surprise. Obviously sponsored by Santo Tequila and Sammy's Beach Bar Rum and Golden Road Fruit Card Hard Seltzer. And boy, were they promoting these things. They had the banners everywhere. Sammy's wearing the shirt. They're drinking the seltzer on the stage. They made a whole big production out of that. So
right. I thought it was interesting that 2 out of the 3 sponsors were Sammy's company.
Yeah, and I was wondering if Sammy owned the hard seltzer one, too. I was wondering
about that.
Yeah, it was interesting. So his special guests were Kevin Cronin of REO Speedwagon and also Rick Springfield. By the way, Dave, Rick Springfield, you ready for this? I want to shock you. How old do you think Rick Springfield is, and how old do you think Kevin Cronin is?
Okay, I looked up Rick Springfield because when I saw him, I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
That guy looks fantastic.
Unbelievable.
How old is he? He's 71, that guy.
He looks like he's 47 years old.
He does. He looked like, we always say Sam looks good, but Sam's got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
On Rick Springfield. That guy, I don't know what his secret is.
Yeah.
But man, so obviously, he looked good. He sounded good.
Yeah,
he
fantastic.
played well.
He's amazing.
I thought, although I was he got a whole song to himself. He got Jesse's Girl, of course, right?
Yep.
But I was kind of well, I don't know. I mean, it was nice to see Rick up there singing and all that. But I was I thought it was a Sammy show. Sammy just disappeared. And I'm like, you're not going to do the song with him?
I know.
Then they did "I've Done Everything for You,"
which is Sammy's song done by Rick Springfield. Covered it, yeah.
Right. Because Rick had a hit with it, but Sam almost But Rick still did a lot of the main singing on that song.
He did. Sam really let go of the rope.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. Which is, okay, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But, for me, I would have been like, well, if they had exchanged verses, I think it would have been a cool duet. But still.
It was obviously very loose.
Right, yeah. But, still, it was still well done, well played. And Kevin Cronin came out, and he's no slouch of a singer. And they were all doing background vocals.
Yep.
And, then they did changes.
Roll with the changes. Roll with the changes.
REO Speedwagon song. And Kevin did well. I don't know how old Kevin Cronin is.
Are you ready for this? If I told you he's younger than Rick Springfield, would you believe me?
Yeah, I would actually, yeah.
He's 69, your favorite number. And, and believe it or not, he's 2 years younger than Rick Springfield. He looks like he could be Rick Springfield's grandfather.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but
or at least his dad. Look,
Rick does look really good. So I don't know what vitamins he's taking, or what plastic surgeon he's seeing, or what he's doing. But whatever he's doing, he's
a perfect example of good genes.
I guess, and the guy's definitely working out. I mean, but anyway, I'm not going to keep fawning over Rick Springfield.
It was unbelievable. So,
both those guys sounded decent, and they were just both ecstatic to play live.
Yeah.
And who could blame them, right?
Absolutely. They had a really nice setup. It was basically the stage was on the beach with huts behind them. And there was a few people on the beach, but mainly, like Dave said, the audience was in the water on boats, and they were on all different kinds of boats. They were on motorboats and kayaks and dinghies and yachts, huge yachts and fishing boats and all kinds of boats. It was really, really cool. It was picture perfect gorgeous.
Oh,
I mean, it was
God, you could have asked for better weather.
It looked like utopia gorgeous. I mean, it was crazy.
It was. It was really nice. Sam sounded good.
Yeah, he sounded great. He came out. Sam was wearing his white pants and his Sammy Beach Bar rum shirt, which he never seems to take off. He brought out his Red Shark guitar from the 5150 tour and played One Way to Rock. They opened up and they did kind of the Van Halen version, I like to call, of One Way to Rock, which is, Vic was ripping it up, sounded absolutely fantastic. It's incredible how much Vic adds to this Sammy show. This guy is unbelievable. He sounds like a great voice, unbelievable player, adds so much, and they really started things off with a bang, went right into I Can't Drive 55. Wow. All night long, Sammy is shouting out the wrong dates all night long.
Well, actually, I was going to say he did get some dates right.
At the end. He got a couple at the end right.
He did. But he was
screwed
always
up.
A year or so. I know.
He's always a year off. So he shouts out for I Can't Drive 55, 1985, which was obviously 1984. And Michael Anthony came in and did the last verse. Sammy's called the concert a dream come true. I've been trying to do this for a long time. And then he goes back to 1992, and he played Pound Cake, and obviously Pound Cake's 1991, but that was beautifully filmed, nice and crisp. Sammy had his full beard, which was really cool. Notice, Dave, though, Sammy, he passed a few high notes. He kind of let them go, and he sang a little lower on some stuff, which was sort of interesting, but he is in amazing shape. I love that he brought out 2 songs from his 3-Lock Box days. He played Your Love Is Driving Me Crazy. I love that song. And he played that.
Isn't that one of Carrie's favorite songs?
Yes, it is. She loves that song.
His wife likes that song,
yeah, she likes it. She loves it, yeah. And that was really kind of cool. And 3-Lock Box as well, which was another Raise a Toast he did. That was really nice. Then they got into some of the more VH stuff. They did Finish What You Started, and Michael shouted out a shot of VH for you. He said there was just something strange, Dave, about a 73-year-old man screaming, I need some pussy. I mean, that was a little, what can I tell you?
I know. I was never really a fan of him doing that.
Yeah, I know. It's a little bizarre. Like Dave mentioned earlier, Good Enough. Oh, this was a nice gem. I'm so glad that they added this to the set list. He says, we've never played this song before live, meaning the Circle, of course. It's 5150 time. It's a tribute to Eddie tonight, he said. He shared the mic with Michael Anthony while wearing a mask, which was kind of funny. He was fooling around with a watermelon tube in the front there. Then he started taking beer and rum and drinking them at the same time, which was kind of funny. He also noted that the people in Catalina were a lot easier than the people in Mexico Mexico. And he goes, and I own my place in Mexico. And he goes, I don't own anything here yet. So you can just see he's already thinking about.
I think he stumbled across something with Catalina Island.